Alright guys, welcome to my first YouTube video ever. What I'm going to try to show you today is how to do an ILS landing. This is the flight simulator mission monsoon. Alright, so first of all, now the instructor has told me to move down to 10,000. So I'm going to clear it down to 10,000 feet. So I'll just decrease it here. What I want you to note is that all our autopilot is on. We're holding altitude, actually now decreasing. And our speed is set and our heading is set. Now what's happening is we're currently following our own heading, which is set by the autopilot. But now what I want to do is I want to follow this pink slit right here that's going to head me directly to the localizer without me having to do anything at all. So what I have to do first of all, as you can see, is I'm going to switch this from navigation to GPS. If I skip Now if I change it to GPS and then I click navigation, what's going to happen is now my plane is going to move to the right, bang to the right, and it's going to subspace and try to correct itself and follow this flight route. Now while that's taken care of, what I want to do is I want to show you what the basis of an ILS is. So I'm going to go to my map. Alright, now in any basic plane, initially I will fly GPS, as I showed you, that will follow this pink route and follow all these waypoints that are already inputted into my navigation leading up to the runway. As you can see, if I zoom in, this is our runway. This is where we want to land in this particular mission. Now what you see here, that's a runway and this is the glide scope. So if I click anywhere here on the glide scope, I have a ILS frequency, which is 108.30. 108.30 will be inputted into our navigation radio. Alright, so now my localizer, or what the air traffic carrier, the ATC, is going to try to get me to fly this route leading up to the runway. Right here I will switch on my ILS and let the plane do the rest of it. Alright, so again, let me just recheck. It's 108.30. So just because I want to stay prepared for the landing, I don't need to do it now, but I like to do it in the beginning so I know I'm all set before things get tricky. So I'm going to click Shift 2 and that opens up the radio panel. Now wherever you see navigation 1, I'm going to change that to what I saw earlier. So it was 108, so I'm just going to click on this side to change it to 108.30. So now again I'm going to change here because this is how Flight Simulator does it. It's pretty okay. So 108.30. And I'm gonna switch. So if I switch, what's happened, it's moved it onto 108.30. It's set. I'm not gonna click activate. To activate, I need to click this, but I'm not gonna activate it right now. I'm gonna activate it at the last minute. Alright, so now let's just enjoy the flight. So he told me to set flaps to 5. Click 1 notch of flaps, 2 notch of flaps, set it to 5. What's our speed? Okay, we are obviously pretty high speed right now, so I'm gonna try to put in some air brakes, try to reduce my speed back to 250 knots. As you can see, it's pretty turbulent outside. You can see my auto throttle working. Just put it on seatbelt signs, no smoking signs. Not really important, but I'm just going to show you how to do it. Alright, he asked us to set flaps 10, so again 1 notch down. Alright, so what I wanted to show you was earlier, what you could have seen was that we kept on, let me just track flaps back up because I'm reaching up my speed. Anyway, so what I wanted to show you, 210 knots, roger. Alright, so what I wanted to show you earlier was that what you can see here is now, since I've activated my navigation while GPS was on, you can see we're correctly following this flight route leading up to this. Now he asks us to go left to 083. What I could do is probably, when he asks us to go left to 083, what I could do is I could turn off navigation, click on heading, and change it back to 083. But I don't want to do that because I want to use my navigation. So what's going to happen is once the aircraft, once the GPS finds it on those GPS coordinates, it's automatically going to turn left to this heading and follow this route. So that's what I'm going to show you. So 1000 to go. All systems look clear. Our speed's a bit high, about 40 knots higher than needed, but it's going to take care of itself. Don't worry. Okay, all you can see now is that it's changed. It's automatically got this waypoint, so my plane's now turning to the left. You can see it's banking. This helps you since there's almost about 5 to visibility. You can't see anything what's going on, but you can see that the plane's changing and it's correcting itself to this heading course. So now we're gonna fly that. Now, if I zoom out, you can see how much we have left. So we're going to the Samco waypoint right here, 22.5, 22 miles to it, and then we are going to take a left, which is going to take us to our localizer. The localizer is basically a point which leads us to the glide slope. Before the glide slope, what we wish to do is activate the ILS, activate nav1 radio, change it back to navigation, change that toggle back to navigation, and then click in approach hold. So what's going to happen is I'm going to show you these pins right here, which is going to tell us if we're on curves. Let us get back to that point and I will show you everything. Once you understand and apply these skills on this plane, what I plan to do is eventually make videos on different aircrafts, different types of scenarios, so you understand the concept behind an ILS and how to use a perfect ILS landing and what steps you take in order to land the plane. I think FSX puts this mission under about Okay, we're still correcting. Alright, so down to 6,000. Oops, kind of overshoot it. Alright, what you see right now is that we're still not aligned to the what you see is we're not still aligned to this. Don't worry, because what happened was on the turn it kind of took a treat this, so it again now is recorrecting its course, as you can see. Once you understand the basics of an ILS, you'll understand what steps needs to be done in order to get perfect flight. A glide scope helps you get the proper glide scope, so as you see when you probably sit in an airline, you always be thinking, oh, how do they get that precision? But it's actually all automated systems that help you out. Just remove the caution light. It's a beautiful plane. It's a white 747-800 series, probably decommissioned. Alright. Alright, so as you can see, we're decreasing perfectly, or let's just bring this down a bit faster. We're at 210 knots, so we're fine. Sorry about the sound, by the way. I don't know, it just keeps, because I've put my headphones, keeps on switching. Once I understand how to do it perfectly, I'll promise I'll get it sorted out. I'll also be planning to put down the steps in the comments. Alright, so as you can see, we're 10 miles away from our Samco waypoint. 1,000 to go. That's corrected by my co-pilot, sorry. Okay, so I think we've leveled off right now. It's fine. We're back at 210 knots. Just remember, right now we're only on GPS and navigation. Speed is set, nothing else is done. We're automatically following the points. Alright, so what he's told us is... Alright, so at this point he's just vectored me to this place, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave it to navigation to do the work. As you remember, we're on GPS. Alright, so the turn's going to be taking place at any moment. Right now I'm in 190 and holding down to everything, just reached 2,500. What I'm going to do now is check my radio panel. As you remember, it's on 108.3, standby. Our speed brake is retracted, so no worries there. Alright, just gonna remove the caution at about any minute right now. Alright, he's asking me for flaps 20, so one more drop down. 2 degree space. Any moment right now, I'm gonna turn, it's gonna automatically turn and vector out into the localizer, which is this heading right here. What you see is it's gonna head in and direct me to the glide slope right here, right now. About 5 miles right there. Alright, we're gonna cut this and now we're making the turn. If you missed anything, don't worry, I'll try to put down the steps in the description of the video. Alright, so I've intercepted the localizer. Now he's probably gonna he's gonna ask the ATC for clearance for landing. Gonna get landing instructions right any minute. Now I'm just gonna keep a lookout onto my distance to target. Right, so he's telling me to contact to the tower. At around this minute right there, I'm gonna activate my ILS in order to keep it aligned with the runway and keep it in glide slope. Once activated the glide slope, I don't have to take care of my heading. It automatically decreases altitude according to the glide slope, according to the radio beams present. Let me just, okay, prepare for landing, put on alright. Alright, so the plane above me just missed approach. Obviously we guess more educated and more experienced into this handling this type of flight, so we aren't gonna need ATC. Okay, around 11 miles. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna activate my ILS just to show you guys. So remember, right now it's on GPS navigation. This won't work in an ILS. What I need to do first is activate my navigation 1, which I already preset it before. I'm gonna click navigate nav 1. As you can see, the ID light goes on, and now you can hear a distinct beep. Once that distinct beep is on, now I'm gonna switch to navigation. Once I've switched to navigation, what you see is 2 pink diamonds. Now my plane is no longer gonna follow this path here. Instead, it's gonna now align with this itself. So it's gonna skip all of this, but align itself with this. Now, how it aligns with this is what I'm gonna show you. As you can see, this pink dot is our runway, and this is the glide slope. Once this glide slope comes here and goes below we automatically are gonna start following this. This is alignment, and as you can see, the flight director is going to try itself to align this according to the wind speed, according to wind shear. We're going to align ourselves and keep this constant. As we're approaching here, I'm going to switch on my approach hold switch. As you can see, approach hold switch, all of these light goes. And right now, I've just got confirmation that we've captured the glide slope. As you can see, once captured the glide slope, we're going down. Now I'm going to reduce speed to 160, as directed by my co-pilot. And basically I don't need to do anything more. I'm connected here. Now all I need to take care of is my speed and landing gear and flaps. Final approach to the runway is pretty small and it is wet, so I'm gonna put in auto brakes on at least 2. set on navigation, everything is okay. The beep tells me everything's fine, and you can see that I'm moving along with the glide scope, so I know everything's okay, and I'm headed. Just for confirmation, I can open this, and I can see that I'm following this. Alright, let's put in down the landing gear and set land. Alright, flaps down. In order to, for speed brakes on, I click shift and shift and slash. You can see it just moved on. It's not on yet, it's just there. So once I touch down, it's automatically gonna extend my speed brakes once I get now. What you can see, all I can do is relax and just keep an eye on this. Everything's okay. I see that I'm on run. I've got confirmation that everything's okay. The distinct beep still on. I'm holding on 160. Just check my outer structure. Alright, so as you can see, I'm 3 miles from the runway. My plane's all set. If you can't, since the visibility is really low, but you see that dot there, that's not where I'm landing. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so it's not that one. I guess it's that one, that runway right there. As you can see, we're not aligned with it right now. Don't worry, we will be. Alright, there you go. Now, a few things. ILS cannot land for you, so the initial minute I will need to decrease. Now what you see here is you see 2 red lights, 2 white lights, 2 red lights and 2 white lights. It means you're at the correct altitude at the correct distance from the runway. Therefore you are on glide scope. Now what I'm gonna do before this is I'm gonna turn off my speed once I reach about 50 knots, and I'll have to disengage autopilot. So everything is disengaged and it's manually taken care by me. So I'm just going to prepare for that now. I open my mouse yoke, still not have any impact on it actually. I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to trust this. It looks a bit low, but the computer knows the best right now. As you can see, we're nearing by. I've just set everything. Okay. I've just flared up right now because my speed wasn't right. And now I'm gonna push forward. This is me taking control. I'm a bit high. This horrible landing. This always just freaks me out. I'm gonna flare up right now at last minute, and you can see and reverse thrust is on, and I'm going down. So what you see was that was a perfect, not really a perfect landing, but so that was the perfect ILS landing. Perfect was alignment, but the landing wasn't that great because obviously my computer lags a bit and I couldn't really see properly. But as you did, you understood. Thank you. Thank you very much, and do click